Hello, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. Don't you just love spring? I do. Pretty soon we'll have all these pots filled up and things are greening up, and it's just a time of wonder. It turned off a little cool today, but that's fine with me. I am going to enjoy the cooler weather while I can, because I know that when we get the summer's heat, it's going to be a struggle to get through. And I purchased a pear tree. We brought this home yesterday, and it got a little rain last night, so it's looking pretty good compared to how it looked when we got it home, because we put it in the back of the pickup and it got whipped around by the winds pretty badly. And also it says a zone 5 and we're a zone 7, but it also says that it's hardy to negative 20 degrees, so I'm not sure if I should have purchased this, but I did, so we'll see what it will do. And I have little starts everywhere from the nurseries that I need to start my container gardens. Actually, I have started my container gardens. And this is my first one. And of course, it already had this pretty compacta alyssum in it. And all the blooms won't last very long. Aren't they gorgeous right now, though? So cherry and bright. But soon it'll just be this pretty little blue-green foliage. And so in with it I added this pretty bacopa, which, because I don't have a drip system, my soil does not, I think that's what's been happening, that I'm not doing well with bacopa or with calabachoa. I think it just needs a more consistent moisture. And when you hand water it, it doesn't get that. It needs a constant drip or something where it won't go from dry to moist. But I'm going to try it again. And I try to keep them, I do water them every day. But, you know, sometimes even that's not enough when the real heat comes on. But I put this pretty bacopa, which I'm hoping to get to keep. Isn't that just gorgeous? And it fills out and trails. I've had it to just look really pretty, but actually it's been a while since it's done well for me. Most of the time they just fizzle out somewhere along the end of June or the 1st of July. And then these are the pretty vinca or periwinkle, and there's one, the bloom that's gone off of it here, but let me see if I can get it. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you just how pretty it is, but it's the colors, the white and purple, and I was calling this blue, but then I called this purple. When you put them side by side, they look so similar. But anyway, I've got 2 of the purple back here, and then I also added this pretty little coleus in there, and one of the leaves fell off, so I stuck it right down here. Sometimes a little leaf will make a whole new plant and look really pretty. That would help fill that out quicker and more fuller, and that would just be great. But this is my first container garden for the season that's done, and I need to get a lot more done. I hope to do some of that maybe today. I think I just told you that I did get my second COVID shot. If not, I just put it on Instagram. But anyway, I did get my second COVID shot, and I'm hoping I don't have any bad side effects from it. I did from the first one, so we'll see. But right now it feels great. The shot didn't hurt at all. My arm's not hurting now, but you know, that can always come later. That's what it did to me before. But if I feel like it, I'm going to try to get either some more of my container gardens done, or some more of my hoses laid through the garden. I also have some seeds, a castor bean seed that I've soaked, and it needs to be in the ground. And I also got dahlias in. My tubers were getting fewer, and skinnier, and so I decided I wanted some more to add to them. And I do want to plant my old ones also, but I'm planting my new ones right now because they just came in. I've already planted some that came in, but I got some more to do as soon as I can. I would like to do it while the ground is kind of soft, but we barely got a fourth of an inch of rain, so you know, the ground is not all that soft right now. You get this pretty clematis coming up this little trellis around this little girl. It won't be long before it'll be blooming. And of course the lilac bush is looking great. I also purchased a Picasso canna, but it looks like it's gotten too cold at the store actually, and then it's soggy. It's real soft anyway. It's like it's been soggy and then dried somewhat out. So, but I'm gonna try them. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the ground hopefully today and get that ready. These little ones are not exactly what I planned to put in here, but they looked so bad in that little container. They just needed to be in the ground and get some water around them, and it just brought them right back up to life, and they're looking great. I may end up, once they bloom and I see what color they are and what other things I put in here, I may transplant those to something else, or I may leave them. We'll just see how that will turn out. Let me see if I can get this little one besides around her foot there, just more around this little trellis part of it. Everywhere I look, there's a container that needs to be filled, but that's okay. I love doing this part of it, even though I need more time than I have. I need more energy than I have. But my probably most special friend, my lifelong friend from the 6th grade to today, I called her yesterday actually. Oh look, this is blooming. This little Major Wheeler honeysuckle has blooms on it. How pretty. But anyway, I called her and she said, oh, I wish I lived closer to you. I would be out there every day helping you with that garden. And it just made me feel so good that she would want to do that. But on the other hand, I thought, oh no. And I told her, no, you'd be mad at me. You'd be like my daughter, because my daughter tells me, Mom, are you hearing yourself? You just told me that garden is killing you, and it's just more than you can do. And you also just told me that you ordered more dahlias and that you have to put in whatever plant it is that I have to put in. So yeah, I don't know myself why I'm doing some of the stuff I do, other than I feel compelled. I feel that compelling to do it. So it's part of who I am right now. And isn't this gorgeous? Things like this is just what makes it all pay off for me. And I do hope that everyone can see some of this. That's one reason I share it with you. And I see this little Arkansas star flower is beginning to bloom. This looks really pretty in the fall if it gets its pretty colors on it before it gets frozen out or before the frost knocks it out. But it's really pretty, and it is a perennial. It comes back every year. My little birds had fallen down, and my husband helped me put these back up yesterday. Aren't they pretty there by the redbud tree? So I'm getting back down to what I started to tell you about, needing to do my container gardens, because I have lots of, I've already purchased these and I need to get them in the container so they'll have room. But oh my, aren't they beautiful? These are some I got yesterday, and of course this is a delphinium which I have really hard time getting those to grow, and they're supposed to come back, but I think I've had 2 to come back the following year, but then they died that year. So anyway, I don't have good luck with them, but they're so gorgeous when those tall spears are standing up with bright, beautiful color. And mine have never gotten very tall either. About 4 foot is the most, maybe more like 3 or 3.5. And I did find the icicles plant. I always like to have one of these in my garden. I like the pretty blue color and just the little kind of fluffy feel of it. And then this little plant here, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I can probably show you here. There's a sign, Blazing Rose. But I think it's pretty. I like a little color in my garden. I love color, period. And then this is a yellow purslane. I'll use it for my little girl's hair. And this is a fan flower, which I don't have luck with these either. And it may be the same reason that I don't as the Calabachoa and the Bacopa, because it probably needs a consistent moisture, and mine gets more of a, you know, moisture in the dry, but it doesn't dry all the way out usually, but at some point evidently it does, because I usually lose them before very long into the season. I also purchased another Persian shield. These are beautiful, but mine will turn probably a brownish color instead of that beautiful purple. That's what they always do for me, and I don't know why that is the case either, but that's the way it is. And I showed you this little alyssum, and I have some of it in purple too. And I see that these have gotten a little bit of dirt splashed on them from the rains, but this is the purple alyssum. And for me last year, my alyssum just kind of hung around. It didn't do much until fall, and oh, this is a beautiful plant in the fall. It just takes off and just goes and goes and flows over the pot and down, and it's just a beautiful thing. But I'll want to get all these into a pot as soon as I can. And these are the ones I'm going to put in my strawberry pot, I think. That's the plan. And of course the white one's in the other strawberry pot. So this one in the white is the plan. And this one I want to try with that pretty pink and the strawberry drop coleus. Some of my plants did die out because of our late freeze that was below 0, 10 days below 0, I think. Well, maybe not all of them, but they were still like 17 and below 0. So very cold days, but I lost some things. One of them was my variegated grasses that I had in this one, and in the one right down here too. And they are both gone. So I ended up putting some starts from my my phlox, the tall phlox, in behind them, and I think that will be pretty. We'll give it a chance and see what it will do. My peonies are looking great. They all have buds on them, practically all, and so I'm looking forward to that and seeing those bloom. And then this is, I have a little swan that sits on top of this, and I put a coleus in, but because it did get down pretty cold last night, I did bring it inside. And then most all of my catmint, I'm trying to think what it's called right now, and I can't think of the name of the catmint. It's well, I'm not thinking of it right now, but most of it died out. There was a little scraggly piece, maybe right over there, coming up, so I ended up going ahead and putting some little starts of it in here. They're looking kind of wilty right now, but I'm pretty sure they will pick up and go. And I want to get my starts back into of sedum into my window boxes and the little boxes along the edge. Now this front part here on this side does not have the boxes on the edges, but let me go over to the other side. And here I do have like the small little window type boxes all the way down. Get it to where I can show it to you if I can. But you can see they're all the way down till you get to the very end of it. They're not there, but after all of these, I'm gonna seed them, and there's a little bit trying to come up here and there, but not nearly enough for a good showing. So I want to plant some more in those, as well as into the window boxes on this side. When I first planted in these, I planted impatiens on it, I believe. I know something with color, and I hated to put something else in there. I wanted color. I just love color. So but then I ended up putting the sedum in here just to keep, I wanted something that would continue to come back, and these normally do. They didn't this year, but that's just because of the cold, and I know that we'll have those all along on occasion, but we don't always have that cold of weather. These were coming back and up at least 2 inches, if not more, before the cold came, and then it took it out for good. But I'll show you some on the other side. So this was all started from just pulling some up from where it was on the front side of the house, which is slim now, but this is doing great right now. And I will actually probably I may pull some of it up so I can get root, but if not, I will just take and clip some of this. It starts easily. I'll just clip some off and put it in rooting powder and put it into my window boxes, and it doesn't take it long to go ahead and build its root and just come out and look great. And it's such a pretty little green plant. I also noticed my little Josie lilac is blooming. Also, I had several of these are bells of Ireland, and several of those were up before the freeze, and it took them all out. But luckily, some of them had not yet came through the ground and hadn't sprouted and came up yet, but all of these have. And then I also planted this is a white David tall phlox, so I'm thinking that white and green will look great there. It has the potential to be a great beauty. Also, my lamb's ear had died out, even though it was up this tall before I freeze. But after I freeze, it did not come back, so I put a new one in there, and hopefully it will do well. There's a bunch of seed coming up in this, and I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's probably petunias, which will be great in that little pot. And I know there's too many of them to do well there, but I'll probably divide those and put those somewhere where there aren't any, like in this pot here. I don't see that anything came back in it. Look at this beautiful little hosta right here. Oh, I'm so glad I put a little piece here, because the one on the other side is not doing so well, but it is coming back, so that's great. And I wanted to tell you that I got some names mixed up on one of my posts, and let me get that a little bit clearer for you. These are called hellebores or Lenten roses, and of course these are called coral bells or heuchera. So I was saying I just had the names wrong, so I wanted to put that on here. I'm sure most of you know anyway, but now if you don't, you know. And I didn't just keep it wrong for you. Isn't that beautiful though? I used to think this would be me and Charlotte, because we worked together and we had some of the same, I don't know, life experiences or religious feelings and things. So I miss her so, because I won't ever get to do that till we get to heaven. And but my sister, she says she always, when she sees these little girls, she thinks it's me and her. So, you know, it's wonderful to have people that love you. This is more of the hellebores or Lenten rose. And I purchased another coral bells or herkera too. That had to be a blue jay that just screeched at us. The beautiful redbud trees are beginning to turn green, so it won't be long till they lose their pretty purple color. I always wish they would just stay this color. But it's always worth it just to see them in the spring. The irises are beginning to bloom. And I don't know if you remember the post where I said, I think there's life in this. Well, now we know there's life in this little bush. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'll get just one more picture of the back redbud tree too. This one is from my sister, a little start from one out of her yard. And the one in the front is actually a little seedling from this tree. And it's becoming a little, coming into its own. And this one has been for quite some time. And you can see the lilac bush from here, as well as the bridal spirea opening up more. And it turned off cold again. Cold enough that I took all my little new little plants that I got from the nurseries. I put a plastic bag in the floor and set them all on it. And I'm going to wait till after the cool weather, which should be just, today is Thursday, and I think Friday, Saturday and Sunday are all supposed to be pretty cool. So I'm going to wait until after that, and hopefully I'll be feeling better too, because that COVID shot, it threw me for a loop again, although I've always got to be different, because the second one was not nearly as bad as the first one. So, and I'm feeling a little bit better now, but I had a rough night again and a rough morning, but I can feel that I'm beginning to feel better, which is great. Thank you for coming on the Garden Scrolls with me. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I am.